it is time to build a little kit. This is actually the kit I'm going to be doing. I've already obviously made one up because I wanted to check different soldering techniques. If you can see this thing. Originally, my plan was to use a solder paste and a little doohickey and swipe it onto the pads and then use a soldering iron to heat it up and hope everything would flow nicely. That didn't work. Didn't even come close. Now this one here, when I made it, I used a much larger soldering iron, or a big soldering iron, except this time I'm going to actually use my smaller one with a smaller tip. Now, this little project is, well, this one. It's essentially, it dims, goes bright, goes dim. So I'm just going to turn it on so you can see what it looks like. That way you can decide if you even want to do one of these. Hopefully I won't go out of frame too often. There we go. So that's the final product. So now it's time to make it. Let me just get all this out of the way. So it's time to start assembling. I recommend you get a bowl, any type of bowl, empty the parts into. These things are tiny. Here's a circuit diagram. It's using an LM358. Basically, it's an oscillator, and with the cap and resistor driving this transistor over here and driving the LEDs, it just goes up and down, up and down. So let's see how this will go. Got all the parts in here. First thing I'm going to do is take these two really tiny ones out and replace it with some bit thicker, because eventually I am going to be clear coating these and mounting them outside, and we'll see what the weather does to them. Now with the circuit board, I assume that grubby fingers have been touching it, so I use a tiny bit of isopropanol alcohol to clean it, and try to remember to stay where I can be seen. This stuff is poisonous and flammable. You can't drink it. It'll just simply kill you. So I'm going to start with the component side for, well, the oscillator. So just give me a moment. Get out my third hand. I think we de-evolved when we came out of the trees and lost our tails, if that's how it actually happened. So, what I have found in the past when I was doing this, meaning 2 other boards total, is if I actually just tack a tiny bit of solder on one of the pads, then I can drop the part on there, tack it down, and then the rest become a bit easier. And this thing's focusing on the wrong spot, so just give me a moment. I'd hoped to be able to make these less choppy of a type video, and that didn't work either. Okay, I had a lot of problems on this. I actually had less problems when I was using the big iron. Finally got rid of the bridges. And now I'll do the other side. One of the big issues I'm finding on doing this, it isn't actually completely the soldering, it's the fact of trying to do it underneath a camera. It just doesn't seem to want to do it that way. because I need to get my nose literally right up to the thing, and I'm constantly blocked. Now this soldering tip is in pretty bad shape. That might be why I had less of a problem with the other one, because it was a new tip. Yeah, like it's just balling on the, there we go, there's 1, 2, and a bridge. Okay, that was off to a rocky start. I eventually got the solder bridge gone. Part of the problem I'm simply running into is it actually went smoother with the big iron, and the fact I didn't have a camera mounted in front of my face. So let's try the capacitor now. And what I found when I did it the other time was, excuse me, other than hitting the thing, was to get my thumbnail on it. Well, that didn't work, so let's just try. Nope, gotta get the thumbnail down there. Ouch. Let's try again. Okay, let's try this again. After getting rid of that solder bridge, I'll try a capacitor. And I think I need to get a new ironing tip here. So, tiny little capacitor. Kind of hold you in place. Seems like using the bigger iron, I had less problems. Granted, the tip on it's newer. That's horrid. I'm going to switch back to the big tip, big iron. Okay, let's try this again. Reposition it a bit. That's ugly. Hey, if it holds in place. Not gonna win any awards for ironing. Soldering. Okay, let's try the transistor now. And put a little bit of flux there. Try to get this thing into position. Just my lighting a bit. I obviously need better lighting too. Okay, that looks more or less there. Keep hitting the camera. Now let's just see if I can... Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, I think I got a little bit on there. Oh, it's stuck now. think that's on. Pause and take a look at it. It actually looks like it's soldered. I'll find out eventually when I turn it on. And next it's the 100K, 10, and a 4. Let me get it out of the package. Okay, there's the tiny little resistor that I somehow have to get from here onto that pad. That was not pretty. Look, that's definitely not pretty. And let's see if I can destroy the resistor. I think they must use some really specialized equipment for doing this. Okay, let's try the specialized. Get it over a bit and stick a thumbnail on it. Nope, not quite. See if it's still in focus. And of course now my light's on the wrong side. And I'm happy I don't need to do this for a living. Okay, let's try it this way. Gotta be joking. Hey, that's looking better. So it's not laying flat. Ooh, I'm not putting the Chinese in trouble. So the next victim is 33K. Let's put a little dip of solder there. See, originally when I did this, I was able to get my thumbnail on there. Of course, I didn't have the camera hitting me in the nose each time. Okay. Get over. Now, just need to get that in place and hold it there. Maybe I'll try it this way. Hey, that looks promising. Hey, that worked. Hopefully it was in focus. Not pretty on that side. And of course, it looks like it's going in and out of focus all the time. Okay, next. 22 ohms. 2 and a 0 to indicate no zeros. Okay, let's see how this one goes. Just get you nudged over a bit more. Yeah, looking good. Tweezer it. And I felt it drop. Can we say cold solder joint? And next. And 4, 7, and a 3, so 47K. And there's 3 of these put on. So let's see how this goes. Grab the little one, bring it up, put a dab of solder here, here, oops, that's not a dab, clean the tip, clean the tip, bit of solder there. Yeah, let's see if I can get one of these on here. Over this one. More or less. Clamp you down. Yeah. Not pretty, but it looks like it's good. Grab the next. Oh, that actually, now let's see, clamp you down. And good. Hey, getting into a rhythm on this one. Okay, get you on there. You moved over a bit. Looking good. Nope. Whoop. Okay. Now you gotta get moved over. And you're going to pop right up if I do that. Oh, good. Get close to that wire connection. And presto. It ain't pretty, but I think it's actually good. So I'm going to flip it over, and now it's LED time. So I'm just going to dump the LEDs into this bowl. Get a few of them in there to start with. Wouldn't want to sneeze and have them all over the room. And an LED. And if memory serves me right, they mark the cathode with the coloring. And now it's time to solder that one in. So let's go with the clamp, doing it by clamping. Oops. Come on. There. Get maybe a bit more solder on my iron. Probably should be using flux. That may not be a good sign on the electrical characteristics of this iron. The fact that I'm lighting up an LED. Oops. I didn't have that side down. Okay. Back to the way I was doing that originally. Dab of solder. Bit more solder on the iron. Let's clamp it. I'm not betting that's stuck, but we shall see. Okay, that side's good. That side's got a nice little tip on it. Clean that up. In theory, this thing should work. There's my leads. You know, I'm just gonna, for the time being, yeah, right. Okay, let's suck this stuff out of there. Yeah, that didn't help. There. Oops. Okay, you're still there. Okay. Now, let's hook up the power supply. it go poof, or will it work? Guess I should flip it over. Keep it within the range of the camera. Power supply. Let's see. Oh, they're not all lighting. 1, 2, 3, 4 are not lighting. So, disconnect you. Try to remember which ones it was. And go around and just touch them up. Oh yeah, that one's not even close. It's not even on the board. Okay, that should be that one. And I'm betting it's this one right here. Good. Okay. And turn the light off. And it works. And I will be using fast forward on many parts of this thing because it's way too long. So the next step is to give it a bit of a cleaning. I use it's actually not too bad for price. Stuff was hard to get for a little while. Probably because somebody was using it for something other than cleaning electronics. It's starting to look better. And don't forget, if you're new in this, you wash your hands after doing any electronics. Oh, that's a good joint. Okay, nope, it's not rotating. I thought the whole wire was rotating. Okay. I'll give it a quick dry. Remembering that this stuff is flammable. Not drinkable, but flammable. And if you're going, oh, safety, safety, you could burst into flames. I've got a very nice sized dry chemical fire extinguisher nearby. Not bad for that type of solder job. See you next time.